delighted to be joined today by Tomasz Zahorski, who's CEO of Legia Warsaw and board member of Legia Warsaw, and then also CEO of the new training centre, and obviously went through the 5-year development and now the operator. So Tomasz, it's great to have you with us today. Perhaps you could just tell us a bit about yourself, the club, your role and your objectives moving forward.
Hi, Katie. Hello, everyone. It's a great pleasure to have this conversation. As you said, indeed, we are as Legia Warsaw. We are the biggest by far Polish football club. One of the most also significant sports and football brands in the region. Let's say in Central Europe. Historic, iconic brand, over 104 years of tradition, of success, of success not only on the football pitch. Obviously, we are mostly known from football, but we are a truly multifunctional club. So we have over 20 sports sections, including basketball, which is now highly successful, but also volleyball. A lot of boxing, yachting, many different sections. Tennis, our player Iga Świątek just won the Roland Garros Grand Slam tournament. So we're really a truly multifunctional club, and we're very proud of our history and heritage, and then also current developments. So this is Legia. And as Legia Training Center, we are also, I have to say that probably the most modern and innovative training facility, again, by far in Poland and probably in the region. We spent a lot of time developing this project, as you said, within the last 5 years. So, the architecture, design and project and financing and the land development, and then obviously the construction itself, which partly was conducted within the pandemic time, so it was not an easy thing to do. But we successfully completed the project. We opened Legia Training Center in June 2020. So we are now in the 6th month of operations. Having more than 200 people every day working LTC, so it's the higher classes, let's say, years of the academy, so starting from under 14, and then the second team of Legia Warsaw and the first team of Legia Warsaw. We are current Polish champions, also now sitting at the top of the league of Polish Ekstraklasa, playing also regularly in European competitions. So this is how also Legia Training Center, let's say, looks at the first glance. I understand we will go a bit deeper into the details of how we operate this facility, and you can see here behind me some plans even on the wall of Legia Training Center. I will remove them soon because this project is almost closed now. But yeah, it has been a very, let's say, successful year for us in terms of infrastructure. But we have many, let's say, goals in front of us. A lot of innovation coming up, a lot of plans. So I will be happy to tell about them today, but also in the future.
Perfect. And so obviously, Tomasz, you sort of touched on there, obviously this was a 5-year project to bring this state-of-the-art training centre to completion. Perhaps you can tell us a bit about the drivers behind that, and also, the key features of the new training centre. Yeah,
with pleasure. I mean, I think it's always, a part of club's vision. How does the particular club wants to develop, and where it sees its, let's say, strengths, and how does it want to to develop and seek for revenue and just grow. And part of our owner's vision and chairman, Mr. Dariusz Mioduski, who is also the vice chairman, one of the vice chairmans of European Club Association, was always that we not only have to win the trophies on the regular basis in the league, because we are the biggest club and our ambitions are always to win trophies, but we are always also determined to develop young players, young athletes, and that this is the future of this club, to, let's say, combine experienced, successful players with let's say, our academy players who should, every year add quality and let's say their youth and energy to the squad, and we also, as a club from the, let's say, league which is not highly ranked in Europe, so we also have our, let's say, limitations in terms of revenue, of participating in European competitions, in terms of TV money and so on. So we rely also on the transfer income. So we just have to produce, let's say, develop players. And in order to do that, obviously you have to have great people around you in terms of coaching staff and the know-how in terms of youth development, but you also have to have the infrastructure, and we didn't have the infrastructure prior to that. We had a beautiful stadium, which was also modernized and basically created. I mean, it was on the side of the old stadium, but the fully redeveloped stadium, which is now 32,000 seater. With a great VIP hospitality area and so on. It's a let's say 3-star UEFA stadium, which was a arena of Champions League games, Europa League games, concert, everything. And we wanted to add to this facility a new training facility. We were looking for location for a long time. And also had to find a good financing for this project. It took us several years, as discussed, but here you are. And what's behind Legia's training center? We have 15 hectares of land, of real estate. We developed this land with the main building, which is 9,000 square meters on 2 floors. Where we have a gym, where we have a multifunctional hall, so not only for football but also for basketball, for other sports, for the general development. We have obviously the offices for the whole sports division of the club, both academy and the first team. But we have also a 5-star hotel for our first team players. So very nicely done hotel, 30 rooms for the players and staff. We have also dormitory boarding school for our youth players to accommodate around 100 youth players. We have obviously cafeteria, canteen, but also the whole let's say wellness and medical area, which we call Legia Lab. So it's a space where we have a pool for rehabilitation, jacuzzi, saunas, and all other facilities required to state-of-the-art medical care and fitness of players in the 21st century. We have also let's say research and development area, where we are planning to construct, or in cooperation with external partners, let's say the Polish, the Legia version of football now, which you certainly know from clubs like Borussia Dortmund or Hoffenheim. There's also an Austrian, let's say, version of this training tool or infrastructure. So so this is the building, the main building, and then as in each training facility, we have a lot of football pitches, football fields, six pitches with natural grass, 2 with artificial, so 8 full-size pitches, plus some smaller artificial pitches for technical play, 1 additional natural pitch, not full size, but almost full size for goalkeeping and strength conditioning exercises and training. We have some additional sand pitch, so for sand, for beach soccer, for beach volleyball, but also for strength conditioning, for rehabilitation. So this is basically it. I mean, I think the best way to experience this project is to come over to Poland and to you will be always more than welcome to come over here. But I understand we'll also present maybe in some comments on the subtitles a link to the YouTube video where everything can be, let's say, experienced and not only by words of description, but also by video material and footage.
We'll definitely do that, Tomasz. It sounds like an amazing facility, but one thing obviously we have to touch on, this has been a 5-year project and you opened in June. Obviously the pandemic hit in March. So how was it, sort of from going from full steam ahead, nearly finished, to then, suddenly we have a pandemic and you still have to finish this project?
I mean, it was very difficult. I remember that there was a time, especially March, April, that I didn't have the goal of let's say finishing this project. I just wanted, with the whole team, we just wanted each and every day, to, let's say, to pass successfully. So we were operating, on, let's say, daily mode, not knowing what will, and the whole world didn't know what to expect, but further. So we just said, okay, let's keep the ball rolling and do as much as possible. And we did it at the end of the day. Obviously, it was a good, also thanks to the great team, good planning. A lot of flexibility at the end, obviously, because you have to be in such time extremely flexible. But we also had a great, I have to say, great partnership with the construction company, which was the general, let's say, constructor company. So we made a tender, a couple of years back, and it was really a prestigious project. So the construction market really wanted to win this tender, and we signed with the Polish branch of the Austrian or international company POR, and they proved to be a fantastic partner, but also great cooperation, with local stakeholders, with the local community, because again, it was a total greenfield. It was let's say, in the middle of nowhere. So we opened a totally new area, a beautiful area, which is 25 minutes from driving distance from our stadium. So it's really, great communicated, but at the same time, it's a green area, extremely quiet, extremely, let's say, open to further development. So a great cooperation with local community to also, construct new roads to the facility. So everything was well planned, well prepared. But you are fully right that then executing this plan in the middle of pandemia was a challenge. But I mean, we all like ambitious projects, and sometimes they give you just additional boost, and motivation, and I'm extremely proud to have worked with my team on that and to open it in June. So it's certainly one of the, let's say, life achievements for everyone involved.
And then obviously, you touched on there, you have obviously your stadium, and I know you have plans. I don't know at what stage they are, but perhaps you could tell us a bit about the, in terms of enhancements to the stadium, what you have in the pipeline there.
Of course, I mean the stadium is as I mentioned, is a very nice 32,000 seater stadium. And we have a lot of very good experiences with it. We hosted a lot of games, a lot of concerts, a lot of events. It's basically 365 days a year facility. Obviously, again, not now in the middle of pandemia, but this is how we used to work. But also even now, we for example, we created here a sort of a charity and volunteer center on the stadium to help the elderly people in Warsaw and around Warsaw, and we were delivering up to 1,000 hot meals every day from the stadium to people in need who were especially in the first lockdown forced to stay at home, and so we created the whole or actually used our community around football club, which is always very emotional and very let's say engaged. So we used our stadium and our community and our employees to help people in need. So we have a lot of good experiences with this facility, but we want to obviously to grow, to expand. We are in the middle of Warsaw, so very good location. As we all know, it's not that common for a football stadium to be in the center of city. It's usually on the outskirts. So we're very good communication, a lot of, let's say, traffic, a lot of footfall around it. So we want to expand. We have various plans, again deriving, for example, from this multifunctional characteristic of Legia. So, for example, we have just by the stadium we have a historic tennis courts, which were established in 1930s in the 20th century, and now we are very, let's say, close to agreeing with the city council a 30-year lease of these tennis courts, to operate also them, to create a beautiful tennis location, tennis club. There, 10 tennis courts, also stands for 2,500 people. So from, let's say, everyday amateur tennis up to international events can be held there, and some additional events. So this is one project we're working on, and we have some possible others. We have also the second on the second part of our stadium. We have land which is not developed yet at all, and we have a variety of plans from additional football pitches, training pitches, especially for the youth, for the kids. For the younger kids, because we have the Legia Soccer School projects, which is a project of from 3 years old up to 11 years old of soccer kindergartens and schools on artificial pitches. But we always need additional football pitches, but we can also think of maybe even other sorts of types of infrastructure which we could locate there, including a multifunctional venue hall for sports, concerts. So there are lots of considerations. Obviously, in nowadays it's not easy to plan, not easy to know how the world will look like and what the trends will be in the next years, not to say decades. but we keep our eyes open and heads open and are flexible. So I think within a year or two we will be able to present something really spectacular here and develop the whole, let's say, new sports park around Legia Stadium.
Wow, that sounds great. And then finally, Tomasz, obviously everything's changed this year, but sort of moving forward, how do you see the whole fan experience, fan engagement, fans, whether they're coming to watch Legia Warsaw or whether they're coming to your stadium for a concert? How do you, foresee the sort of sector as a whole evolving moving forward?
Yeah, I think that from our perspective, it's pretty much obvious that that we have to look especially at the youth community and I mean obviously caring always a lot about the whole spectrum of our fans, and as I already mentioned, also let's say our senior members of our community, elder members of our community are very important because of the history, heritage, and we also help them now a lot. But this is clear that we need to look especially to our younger fans and people who will be Legia fans and guests and stakeholders in the next decades and years. So we work a lot with this group. We are opening up to for esports, for gaming, for everything which is related to the interests of young people, fashion, design, music, everything which is important to them. So we also plan to dedicate one of the parts of the stadium to this community and to create the whole community around our stadium and this location to be open to to again gaming, esports, and many other projects. And I think it will be one of the key drivers for the future. And in terms of fun experience, you have to be extremely open and to be able to to accommodate all types of fans and needs at the stadium, but also to be very, let's say, interactive. I think it will be a process of bringing back fans to the stadium, and but not only fans but also event organizers, everyone who used to visit our stadium and the whole location around it before pandemia. So we have to be patient, but we have to also ask them what they need, what they are looking for, and this it will be a process. I think no one wants to predict the future. We will just see what comes and be able to adapt or to be part of finding the solutions. I think this is our nature. This is how we approach the whole Legia identity lifestyle, and this is how we will operate. Continue operating.
Okay, thank you, Tomasz. That's I know there's going to be a lot of people watching this that are just ready as soon as they can to jump on a plane and come and see what you've been doing over there. But in the meantime, I'll make sure they have the YouTube link so they can see. But thank you so much for your time. And here's hoping we can meet in person come 2021.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time. And again, if the world will allow, it will be great to host you and everyone here in Warsaw.